Hey guys, so today we are trying out a bunch of new affordable makeup, and I'm not gonna have an intro really, we're just gonna get into it. The first thing I picked up is not makeup, but Sephora started carrying kitsch products, and I thought these were really pretty. They have like an iridescent, I don't know, kind of like rainbowish kind of feel to the stones, and I thought I would just pull my hair back today because I always have these little flyaways that want to get into my makeup. I don't know why. They want makeup on them. I will say really quick while we're starting, not every single product is brand new. Some of them are new to me, and then there's a few like I didn't have the product, so I'm just substituting something more affordable that I already use. So I am going to try out this Fourth Ray Beauty Avocado Face Milk. I know this is not drugstore, but it's super affordable. If you don't know, Fourth Ray Beauty is a sister company to ColourPop. So basically you can order from ColourPop. I know it's a separate brand, but I just consider this like ColourPop products in my opinion. Smell a little bit like cucumber. It does feel good. It feels nourishing. I was just excited to try these out because they were really intriguing to me. We're gonna see if that does anything differently for my makeup. That is not technically a primer, but it is kind of like a priming step if you want it to be. I do have a couple other things too. I have the CoverGirl True Blend Base Business. I have the moisturizing and mattifying primers. So lately I've been getting very oily right around my nose, but everywhere else I'm dry. Classic annoying combination skin. This is probably a little bit overboard to use the moisturizing one on top of it, but I'm just going to use it in a couple areas where I've been particularly dry, and that's like my outer cheeks right here. Basically like the sides of my face have been really dry, and a little bit on the forehead. And then we'll take the mattifying one just right where we need it. Wow, look at me just getting red just from touching my face. For foundation today, we're going to use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation. I have been super excited to try this. I've seen that people like this one. I have not watched reviews, but I love my regular Wet n Wild foundation, so with any luck, this will be good as well. Ooh, I actually have like two colors in the other one, so I got the shade Rose Ivory. This was the one that I have the best luck with. It's a little bit cooler. The other ones are just a little bit too warm. And I'm taking the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. It looks like this. It is shaped exactly like the Real Technique sponge. I do feel like this one's got a little bit more bounciness to it, which I think I will like. I don't know if their sponge has changed, but the last Real Techniques one I got, I did not like. It felt a little bit more rubbery almost. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Like I said, I keep pulling out light foundations, but this one actually matches pretty well once everything is done. The other shade I have is a little too yellow and a little bit darker, so like the depth is good, but it's definitely more yellow. Now I used a good bit. Keep that in mind. This sponge looks like it could be soaking up a good bit of it, so you know, you may have better application with a brush, or even like, I like the new Tati Blendiful. I feel like that one might be a good one with this one because it is, you know, a fiber that's not going to soak up a lot. I think this is looking pretty good. I see a lot of my skin tone through it, but not in a bad way, if that makes sense. Like, it looks very natural. It says buildable coverage, which is what I'm seeing here. I feel like that is right on point with what they say that it is. So what I'm gonna do is just add a little bit in the areas where I typically need more coverage. Let's go ahead. If you can tell, I'm trying not to be long-winded in this video. I feel like lately what I actually film is too long, and I'm having to like cut so much out of it. I'm like, damn girl, you need to maybe talk a little less. It's usually good stuff. Like, I have to pick what I want to cut out, but like, it's not bad, it's just lengthy. Maybe you guys think it's bad, I don't know. I'm liking the way this is looking so far. It looks nice and luminous. It looks like the coverage is really decent, especially now that I have blended it up. I'm not mad at it. So far, we're doing good. So now we have the Hydrating Camo Concealer is our concealer of the day. This one is supposed to be a full coverage satin finish, and obviously more hydrating than the previous one. I did like the camo concealer. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, holy grail, but it was really good. When I found the new CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer, that was just like a little bit better in my opinion, but they were both good. So we're gonna try this. Hopefully, because this is hydrating, it's gonna be a little bit more what I'm looking for personally, because that's my only complaint with the CoverGirl one, is that it is of course more of a matte finish. That does not make it bad in any way, but if you're dry, you might prefer something a little bit more hydrating. I'm gonna use the same sponge, of course. Let's start to blend. So far, so good with this sponge, because a lot of sponges, for whatever reason, if you're laying the sponge down onto your concealer, but your sponge is hitting underneath your concealer, it can pick up the foundation a little bit. And this one is not doing that, thank goodness. That's one of my like pet peeves, and one of the reasons I love the Tati Blendiful so much and my Stands Out Beauty Sponge so much, because they do not do that. Whereas some sponges, especially damp ones, can kind of pick that up and move it around. Wow, this is going a long way. This concealer is really stretching. There is a lot of coverage there. Whoa. Do you guys ever get super itchy around your nose like as soon as you put on foundation? What is that? All right, I obviously look super, super bright. I need to clean off my lips again because I look like I have absolutely no lips right now. All right, so we need to get into setting. I'm really liking everything so far. Fingers crossed that everything continues in this fashion because I really like it. Now there's a product I want to try out, and I feel like this could be really disastrous over powder. I also don't want to like drag my foundation right now, but I'm just going to show you guys this. We may try it because I can fix the foundation if it messes it up, but this is the Photo Ready Instant Cheek Maker. It is a blush and highlight duo. It's a really weird little device. So it has a blush and highlight there, and it's meant to kind of like hug your cheek. It says place products on apple of the cheekbone, blush side down, swipe along cheekbone, tap with finger to blend. If it screws up the foundation, I can go back in with foundation and concealer. So it did definitely disturb. Let's see if I just blend, if it looks okay. I feel like I need to try this more, but I'm not really liking like putting it on. I wonder if I just like tap, tap, tap. It does say to sweep it on, but it just feels weird. I feel like this could be really pretty on like a no makeup day if you're going really light. Like, okay, here we go. I mean, that's not too bad. It didn't disturb my foundation as much over here. I feel like this might be a little gimmicky. It could be a lot worse, honestly. I didn't know what to expect, and it kind of looks pretty. Let me know what you're thinking about this product. Is it worth my time? Do you think it's just like really gimmicky? I could work with it some more and probably make it look nice, so that's good. Like it's not a total loss. Like actually it looks kind of pretty. I'm on the fence about how I feel about that, but for now we're just gonna move along because I need to set my under eye. I'm gonna have to like blend it a little bit more. I'm gonna use the CoverGirl True Blend Minerals Loose Mineral Powder. This looks a little yellow, I'm afraid, but we gotta try it. Oh God.
Oh shit.
It feels nice. That color. Oh man. It's like the moment I like glide this brush over, it is totally disturbing everything right there. I didn't put a lot of powder in that area, but it really, really disturbed. It has like the little shine to it too, which is pretty. I actually think I need to start over because I'm not going to like this no matter what I do. It just kind of darkened the whole area. So to be fair to the other products, I'm gonna do the annoying thing and I'm gonna start over. All right, I'm freaking Captain Indecisive today. I actually went in the bathroom, and when I looked at this, I didn't really mind it as much. Like the powder is actually laying really pretty on my skin. The main issue is that it's dark, so I'm just gonna go ahead and set my entire face with it. That way, maybe we won't have to bronze as much. You can see like as I'm applying it, it's just kind of like making everything the same color. I guess the only issue I really have with this powder is that it's really not translucent. It's got a good bit of color in it. That being said, for most people, it would probably be fine. But I do have to say the powder feels nice on the skin. So really the only thing I'm not loving so far is the color of the powder. If my skin tone was a little different, it would actually be quite all right. And it's really not bad. As you can see, I think it looks pretty, and I feel like the glow is showing through just a little bit. Like I can still see it a little tiny bit. So I'm not mad at it. I'm actually surprised that that worked out so well. The next product I actually picked up at Sephora, but this is the Sephora Collection brand, and it is the new retractable brow pencil that is waterproof. I got the shade Midnight Brown, so we're gonna try this out. It basically mimics Brow Wiz or a Precisely My Brow pencil, fine point with a spoolie. That was pretty quick and easy. I'm actually really impressed. This pencil seems really nice. I also have this Easy Breezy Brow from CoverGirl. This is the volumizing brow gel. So I'm gonna try a little bit of this. I like a product like this that will give you a little color, a little feel, but also a little bit of hold. That way I don't have to go in with another brow gel. All right, my camera decided to overheat because nothing wants to go right today, but it's okay. I use this little NYX highlighter and bronzer palette to bronze up my face while my camera was cooling down. And then I also use the Sephora collection. This I've been using all the time. This is a colorful contour. It's the shade Second Chance. It's a little bit like taupe-ish, like gray brown. So it's a beautiful shadow. So I just add a little bit of that where I really want to intensely place that shadow. Since I've been using those products, I didn't feel like we needed to film it. I also just used this in my NYX video maybe like a week ago if you want to see that in action a little bit more. So back to the brows. I quite like that. It seems like it's holding my brows just a little bit, like I can feel them in place and they're not gonna move around too much, but it's not super hold. So if you don't like where they get a little bit too dry and too stiff, you won't feel that. But I feel like it's got a little bit of hold and it looks pretty nice. We might as well finish off the face. So I've got the Sephora collection Gleam. It's a trio face palette. I want to use this for blush. These look really pretty. The packaging, you know, is just okay, but I'm gonna swatch all three for you, but then I'm gonna use it to put on some blush. And here's what it looks like. And it's basically got like one blush, one more of a gleamy highlight, and then another highlight that's a little bit more shimmery. So here are the three shades in this palette. Look at that highlight. We may have to compare it because I have another highlight to use, but we may have to do like both sides maybe, and they're kind of similar colors, so I think that'll work out. That other blush is not really peeking through a whole lot. I'm just gonna add a little bit of blush on top. I wasn't crazy about the brush I was using. The combination under my eyes is not doing that great. I'm already creasing a little bit. Creasing is a very typical problem for me, but usually I don't have it this early on, so that's kind of a bummer. So the highlighter I wanted to use today was the highlighter duo from Milani. This is cream and powder. Oh, so this is what it looks like. It's a little duo. I don't know if they're just meant to be like creamy powders, but they both feel like powder to me. So there are two different versions in here as well. One is probably gonna have a little bit more shimmer. The shimmery in the Milani is a little bit pinker, but I'm just gonna compare the two. They're a little similar. Ooh, look at that. That's from the Sephora one, and it's actually the more shimmery highlight. First, I'm gonna take this Milani one. We're gonna take the more like gleamy highlight, if you will, the one that doesn't have as much shimmer. Ooh, okay, there we go. Go into the Sephora collection one. Ooh, all right, so which one are you guys liking more? They're kind of similar, but there's also some differences. All right, so this Milani one that's a little bit more sparkly has a pretty pink hue to it. Like it's kind of intensely pink. So I'm liking the first shade a little bit more from that one, which is a little bit more of like this really pale, cool gold. Woo, I'm gonna be super shiny today. And then I'm gonna layer a little bit of this one from the Sephora collection one. This one too looks crazy. Let me know which one you guys prefer. I like them both. They're actually so similar, but the Sephora collection one actually came out to play. Like I already love Milani highlights, so I already knew that was gonna be something there, but they're both really pretty. Kind of crazy how similar these are though, but I do like that you get the option of the blush in here too. So this was $15. I can't remember the price of the Milani offhand, but I think they're usually around $10. Both a really good deal. And then also from Milani, I have a little palette. This is the Outlaw Olive Most Wanted eyeshadow palette. I actually had to get a second one of these because my first one came broken, but I ordered it from Ulta. They were really affordable in the first place, but it was also on sale when I picked it up. I'm gonna swatch these first, kind of decide what I want to do. Here are the first 4 shades. I love green eyeshadow if you guys don't know that already. It's a different color, but to me it can be very wearable at the same time. A little crumbly on the swatch there, and then we've got 2 more shades. So a like olive golden is the last shade, and then this deeper brown. So I've had kind of a hit and miss relationship with Milani shadows. Most of their products I love, like hardcore love their blushes, but the eyeshadows, it's been hit and miss for me. So we're just gonna try it out. I'm first going to dive into the first shade right here. I'm probably gonna use almost every shade or every shade because, you know, there's only 6 shades in here. I'm gonna take this green shade right here and go in with a little smaller brush. A lot of kickback there. Okay, that shade did a little better. Not bad. I think it's looking pretty good so far. So I'm gonna continue on with a bit of green and just kind of pack right here in this little triangle, and then we're gonna do a little blending out and kind of elongate that shadow there. I'm gonna take our dark brown to further accentuate and darken my eye up a little bit. I will say this, it was a little dusty, but I'm not having any fallout. The pigmentation is not insane, but even with some pigmentation, like with the green, as you can see, I probably would have had a little fallout typically. I went ahead and did a little something something over here, and then we're gonna recreate it. I actually used a little bit of the hydrating concealer and just kind of laid down a little bit of a base. Nothing too fancy. This is just my go-to little way of creating a little bit of space and definition on the lid. Oh, this foundation's already creased on me, dang. I really like the way it looks otherwise. I just creased really bad right there. Like, that's just like my norm. So I'm taking the second shade, which is like a green gold. I'm gonna pack that onto the inner part of the lid. Then I'm taking it also on my finger just to get a little bit more packed on there. And then I'm going in with this olivey shade, and I'm just kind of patting that over the edge of where that concealer is placed. And it looks really pretty. So I am pretty impressed after all. Everything went well with that. I kind of hate my highlight with the eye look because it's like pinky with the greeny, but hopefully it doesn't stand out too bad. But yeah, I think it looks really nice. For the price, I think it's good. They also have other colors if you're not into the greens like I am. But that is that. I also have the Revlon Color Stay Liquid Liner. So this is probably not a new product by any means, but I've actually not tried it. So we're gonna give it a go. I'm not always the biggest fan of these type of eyeliners. I usually like a pen myself, but I wanted to give something new a try. Ooh, this tip feels not flexible at all, but let's just give it a go and see. All right, straight off the bat, I'm not loving this. It looks super black. It dries down to a nice matte if that's what you're looking for, but the tip has no flexibility. Like, it barely moves, and that to me is causing a problem. Now granted, I can make this work, but I don't want to have to work this hard. I want something a little easier. It's also a little dry where I initially laid down that wing. So it's turning out okay. Don't get me wrong, like, it's nothing terrible, but I much prefer a tip that's got some more flexibility to it. This one is just not having it. It won't bend and form to the area where you're trying to lay it down, which kind of sucks in my opinion. I think this looks awful. I don't like it. Oh my God. It's like two completely different eyes. I could try to make this work more, but I'm just not liking it. I'm not gonna be a fan of this one just because I don't like the applicator, and usually my wings come out much better than this with less crazy amount of effort. Neither of these things is like the other, but that's as good as it's getting with this liner. I'm sorry to say that is just not gonna be a win for me in any sense of the word. That applicator is just so stiff. I feel like I'm using a ballpoint pen. Next thing is the Maybelline Total Temptation in Very Black. I have a little guy of this and I just wanted to try it out. The brush is kind of big, but in a way I really like that. So we're gonna see how this goes. So I'm gonna put this here so maybe you can see the length of my lashes. It did pretty good, I have to say. Not a bad one. I do have a flake right here. My lashes look really full just with one coat. The length is pretty good. It's not the most amazing, but it did a decent job. I'm gonna try to layer it just a little bit. All right, I feel like my lashes are getting thicker but no longer, so I'm just gonna put a little bit on the lower lash line. Everything's looking pretty good. I kind of want to go a little bit bronzier on the cheek area and maybe save this from looking so cool elsewhere. I'm going to take a little bit of this NYX highlight in this light golden. Considering that this was about 50-50 on what I liked and what I didn't like, this actually turned out okay. The foundation, I'm definitely going to try some more. I think it looks pretty nice, and it did kind of lay over my pores a little bit, but it's a dewy foundation and I did not use a smoothing primer, so next time I will probably do that. I feel like next time I want to try these two out with other setting powders and primers and see how I go. I am already creasing a little bit here, but I feel like that powder didn't do the best job of setting my face. Also, it's just giving me this like color that I don't like, and it's kind of dragging everything down a little bit. I hate the eyeliner, absolutely despise it, but it's just the applicator. Well, no, I don't really love the formula that much either. Like, sorry if you like that one, absolutely wonderful for you. I can see if you really like a super matte black liner, I can see why you might like that, or if you like a firm applicator, then there you go. You may love it. Just not my personal preference. Everything else is looking okay. I think I definitely want to try the concealer some more, and the eyeshadow palette's looking pretty good, I have to say. Like, I love the green tones. So the only thing we have to do is now first set our face, and then I'm going to also go in with a lip, and that will be it. So I'm using the Maybelline Lasting Fix. It's supposed to be up to a 16-hour finish. Ooh, that's got a long stream to it. I'm definitely gonna have to try this on a day where like I really need my makeup to last and see if it really does that. Let's give it a try. Ooh. That one you definitely have to do at a big distance. They all kind of say, you know, 8 to 10 inches or something like that, but this one I would hold it like 1.5 feet away because it's got a pretty intense little mist. And then I have several of these e.l.f. Seriously Satin. So it's got really simple packaging, but in a way I kind of really like it. It's just like that acrylic-y look, and this is the shade Cream. I think I am gonna like this one, so I'm gonna grab a lip liner. At first, it felt like it was gonna be kind of a stiffer matte, but then it got a little bit creamier as it started to warm up to my lips. So I'm gonna use this Steve Laurent liner. I don't know the price point on this, but it's kind of the color I'm looking for. This is the shade Chic, and that's what it looks like. Let's go in. That's actually a really pretty combo. Like, that's a good nude lip. Okay. I obviously don't know about how long this lip will wear, but so far I like it. They're calling it a satin finish, and I feel like that's kind of on par. It feels like maybe a comfort matte. It's not necessarily creamy, but it's like in between a cream and a matte. So I think satin's a pretty good explanation for it. Let's declip. All right, so this is my final makeup look. Let me know what you think about how this overall look turned out. I think we did pretty good, even though, like, again, a couple of these products aren't gonna be my faves, but for the most part, everything was okay. I hate my liner right now. I can like feel it drying onto my skin, and I want to film another video, but in another way I'm like, can I just take this off? But everything else is pretty good. I do want to continue to use everything else. The liner I won't reach for again. I'm curious if this would work better, but it's not going to work over powder, I can tell you that, because you have to kind of like drag it. I don't know, it barely worked over foundation, so I don't know if this is something I'm going to reach for. You could, however, grab a brush and like stipple this on, grab a sponge and stipple it on, but it's made to glide over the cheek. So the formula is not necessarily bad, but I think the design is a little gimmicky. The Total Temptation did okay. I may try it once more on a day where I can take my time and just see how it goes, but it's not blowing me away in terms of length. If you just need volume, I think definitely go for this one. And everything else I was pretty impressed with. The e.l.f. sponge did a really good job. I think I'm going to like the concealer when I use another powder, and everything else I'm good with. The brows turned out good. Both of those products were excellent. The primers did okay too. I'm definitely not seeing any oil trying to pop through, and I've had this makeup on for a little while now. The hydrating primer did okay too. So overall, not a bad little day of makeup. So let me know what you think below, and I will see you guys really soon in my next video. Bye!